Now, most screenwriters make the same mistake. They watch movies, but they never read them. And that's why their own writing feels flat. Today, I want to share with you 5 screenplays that changed the way that I write. Each one gave me a new lens, a new way of seeing story. If you stick around to the end, you'll hear the one script that nearly broke me as a writer in the best way possible. Now, the first kind of script I'd like you to read is a genre script, because genre is language. Horror scripts create fear not just in the story, but in the rhyme of the sentences. Short, sharp, jagged lines that unsettle us before the monster even arrives. Now, in this particular case, I love Scream, so I picked up Scream and read that. So if you're a horror fan, give that one a shot because it does exactly that. Now, comedy scripts are built on timing, like the song that rises and falls with punchlines. When you read a genre script, you start hearing that rhyme. You can almost feel the beat of the story in your bones. Now, once you've seen that rhythm on the page, you'll never look at your own writing in the same way again. And if a genre shows you rhythm, wait till you'll see what happens when you read your absolute favorite film. Now, my favorite film is Aliens. And when I read the script, it was like someone turned on the lights in a dark room. Suddenly I saw why the movie felt like a roller coaster. James Cameron writes with the urgency of a soldier in the field. Short, clipped sentences, rapid fire action lines, dialogue that feels like orders shouted under fire. Reading it, I realized action isn't just spectacle. It's pacing on the page. The script itself felt like combat. And if Aliens taught me speed, the next script taught me patience. Because if Cameron writes like a machine gun, Tarantino writes like a sniper. Now, the opening farmhouse scene in Inglourious Basterds is just 2 men talking, but on the page, it's unbearable tension. Every line of dialogue adds weight until the air feels like it's about to crack. Tarantino taught me that dialogue isn't about clever lines. It's about power shifting between characters. Now, reading the script was like holding my breath for 20 pages straight. It made me see that words themselves can be violent. And while Tarantino sharpened the knife, he didn't invent the trick. To see where it began, you can go back in time to one of the greatest writers of all, at least in my opinion, and we'll take a look at that next one. And we'll take a look at that next. When I read Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and if you're wondering, all the resources are linked in the description below to the best sources I could get. When I read that for the first time, I was shocked. It didn't feel like a screenplay. It felt like a novel. Before William Goldman, screenplays were just technical blueprints. Cameras pan left, actors enter, dry instructions. Goldman changed the rules. His scripts were playful. They were alive, full of voice that demanded to be read. And that's why Hollywood realized screenplays could be more than just instructions. They could be literature. Reading Goldman made me realize your voice on the page is as important as what happens in the story. But sometimes you don't need history. Sometimes you just need to know how to write an action scene that makes a reader's heart race. And this is where John Wick comes in. You knew it was going to happen. No, you knew it was going to happen. Now, most action scripts are slogs. Paragraphs of details, endless choreography, every bullet counted. Reading them feels like a homework assignment. But the script for John Wick, it was pure rhythm. Short bursts, brutal, elegance, violence written like a verse. It taught me that action isn't about explaining everything, it's about momentum, flow, and a sense that you can't stop reading until the fight is done. The script showed me how to keep a reader glued to the page, even when they already knew how the scene would end. And here is the truth. None of these scripts matter if you don't approach them in the right way. Now, these 5 screenplays aren't just entertainment, they're actually a training ground. Genre scripts teach us rhythm. Your favorite film teaches you flow. Masters like Tarantino teach you tension. Classics like Goldman teach you voice. And technical studies like John Wick teach you the craft. But the real secret is how you read them. Now, don't read them like a fan. Read them like a fighter studying tape for the first time. Or read them like a football team that's prepping for their opponent for next week. Break them down. Ask, why does this scene work? Rewrite it yourself. Because when you do this, these scripts will stop being stories you love and start being lessons that change your writing forever. If this video gave you a new way of looking at screenwriting, hit the subscribe button. Because in a future video, I'm hoping to break down how to use AI to apply these lessons to your script. And trust me, you don't want to miss that. Until the next video, live well and write well.